Pricier. We look at the cost of tailgating. And Russia takes steps to annex parts of Ukraine, how the White House is responding.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Parsons police investigate the shootings of 2 more dogs in the city. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, officers investigate the shootings of 2 pit bulls, one who later had to be euthanized. The first happened in the 1500 block of Grand just after 11:30 yesterday morning. Witnesses say a man between the ages of 20 and 40 and who was dressed in camo shot a 3-legged pit in one of its legs. Nearby Garfield Elementary School went into a partial lockdown, and that dog was later euthanized. The second attack happened just before 7 p.m. in the 2600 block of Stevens. That pit bull is expected to survive. Parsons police are still investigating 4 dog attacks from 2021. Draco was found dead, wrapped up in a blanket. Blue was shot and killed, and Zeus was shot but did survive. And a police officer's dog named Ranger was brutally killed. His reward is now up to $34,000. Authorities are searching for a shooting suspect in Pittsburgh. It happened about 7 o'clock last night at the Whispering Pines mobile home park at 121 Glen Way, and that's where Crawford County deputies found 34-year-old Anthony Hogue in the road suffering from gunshot injuries. He was taken by ambulance to Ascension Via Christi. Authorities say the shooter was wearing shorts but not a shirt and driving a silver Chevy Malibu with Kansas tags 177 PAT. The car was last seen heading south from Quincy Street on the US 69 bypass. If you have any information regarding the shooting, please call the Crawford County Sheriff. Well, we got a taste of fall yesterday, a little bit this morning, but unfortunately it's not going to stick around for the weekend. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us with a first look at the forecast.
Yeah, Tanya, it was a beautiful morning out there with temperatures in the 50s and a nice change from all the summer heat that we've been dealing with. But unfortunately, we're going to go right back into the furnace tomorrow. But let's enjoy today. We have a few scattered showers up to the north in our northern sections right now around Nevada. Some showers. Let's zoom in on that area and show you what's going on near Garnett over to Burlington. A little bit of sprinkle activity near Yates Center over towards Iola, and then Fort Scott to Nevada and points northward. Fortunately, those folks are receiving the rainfall, but not everyone is going to get any rain. And I'll be back in a minute to tell you about the record heat we expect for tomorrow, as well as the rest of your forecast. So stay tuned.
All right. Thanks, Sam. Well, Hurricane Fiona is moving away from Bermuda after pounding the island overnight with strong winds and heavy rains. The powerful Category 3 storm is now headed towards eastern Canada, including Nova Scotia and Newfoundland, where hurricane conditions are expected tonight. In Puerto Rico, more than half of customers remained without power and a third did not have water days after Fiona caused catastrophic flooding and destruction. In Iran, the army vows to, quote, confront the enemies and put down a series of deadly protests, mostly led by women. The protesters are furious over the recent death of a 22-year-old after she was taken into custody, accused of violating Iran's rigid dress code for women. Well, Russia is taking steps to try to solidify the territory it has captured in Ukraine, but the U.S. is pushing back, saying attempts to annex any parts of Ukraine are illegal and a sham. Deborah Alfarone has more details from the White House.
Voting is underway in Russian-controlled areas of Ukraine on a referendum to join Russia. The separatist leader in Donetsk cast his vote in front of cameras. We are returning home, he says. We are returning to mighty Russia. The referendums are illegal under international law, and the U.S. has called them a sham, saying the outcome of the vote to annex Ukrainian land is predetermined.
When that's complete, we can expect President Putin will claim any Ukrainian effort to liberate this land as an attack on so-called Russian territory.
Russian President Vladimir Putin vowed this week to use all weapons systems available if his territory is attacked. The Biden administration has warned Russia publicly and privately against the use of nuclear weapons as Putin struggles to turn the tide in the war in Ukraine. The Kremlin announced this week it is mobilizing up to 300,000 new soldiers.
What's not clear is whether or not it could significantly address the command and control, the logistics, the sustainment, and importantly, the morale issues that we've seen Russian forces in Ukraine experience.
The news was met with anti-war demonstrations in Russia. Police arrested more than 1,000 protesters. Thousands more decided to flee the country rather than be called up.
Not really lots of Russian people want to fight and want to be mobilized and want to go to the army.
Moscow denies there is a large-scale exodus, but there are traffic jams at border checkpoints. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, the White House.
Russian officials say the country has lost an estimated 6,000 soldiers, but the U.S. military estimates that number closer to 80,000. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, inflation on the gridiron.
The party in the parking lot just got pricier. I'm Danya Backus with more on how inflation is impacting tailgating.
And later, we're making a consumer-friendly tailgating side in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, buffalo potato wedges. Football season is underway, and this year fans are paying top dollar to party in the parking lot. And costs for tailgating essentials have gone up, and so has getting to the game itself. CBS's Danya Backus caught up with some devoted Rams fans out in Los Angeles.
Whose house? Rams house! Whose house? Rams house!
Freddie Giannis has been tailgating at Rams games since the team's triumphant return to Los Angeles in 2016. His booster club brings the potluck to the parking lot.
Potato salad, salads, carne asada, hot links, hamburgers, tacos, name it, ribs, whatever it is, we bring.
But this year, inflation is intercepting his wallet.
Say if I was spending $60, now it's like $120, pretty much.
A recent report from Wells Fargo found tailgating costs are up, from beer to brats, even propane to fire up the grill.
Certain proteins like chicken and beef up pretty substantially, snack-like items, buns, pickles, all kinds of stuff like that you need for game day.
Getting there costs more too. Gas is about 50 cents more a gallon compared to last year. And flights up a whopping 34%.
Rising prices don't necessarily have to sack all the fun. There are ways to save on game day.
Take the subway, take the bus if you can, rather than driving or flying.
Take a look at your food spread and try substituting less expensive items, like pork ribs, up only 2.3%, or fresh vegetables, up 7.6%. And of course, you can always armchair quarterback.
TV prices are actually down relative to a year ago.
Giannis and his club all pitch in.
We waited years for the Rams to come back home, and every cent is well worth it.
And they have enough passion to go around. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Experts say the most expensive thing at the game is still probably the tickets themselves. Philadelphia Eagles are taking home a prize, but not one they may not want. The football team scored #1 as the team with the priciest beer in the NFL. The cost of a 16-ounce beer at Lincoln Financial Field is an eye-watering $14.67. More than $5 more than the league average. Now, that's according to an analysis by sports site bookies.com. Rams and Chargers fans are spending almost as much, shelling out $13.75 for a beer at their stadium. Las Vegas Raiders, they only charge $12. Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Binge watching your favorite shows? We've got it, and it's a no-fail every time.
But first, meteorologist Sam Lane returns with your complete forecast.
Well, we've had a little bit of break from the summer heat with the cooler and fall-like temperatures the last couple of days. Unfortunately, it looks like summer's going to come back for a revisit as we head into the weekend. But first, I wanted to show you the Drought Tracker because this has been pretty impressive. This has been the story all summer long. In addition to the intense summer heat, we've had a lack of rainfall. And as a result, we are now in the exceptional drought category for a large segment of our area, including southeastern Kansas, parts of Oklahoma, and then of course extreme drought conditions for most of the rest of the region. Hopefully we can start getting some rain in here, but I wanted to talk a little bit about September. So far, if we continue going without any rain between now and the end of September, we're going to end up being the third driest September in Joplin history. Back in 2013, we only had 0.2 of an inch. 1956, a little over a third. So we're well on our way into the record books as far as that going. Over the summer, in June, we were 3 1/3 inches below normal. July, we were almost 3 inches below normal. August, we caught up a little bit, 1.5 inches above normal. And so far this month, we're 3 3/4 of an inch below normal. So you add all that up, and that spells drought conditions. Unfortunately, it's going to continue for a little bit longer. They don't have to worry about a drought, though, in the Caribbean. It looks like we're going to be dealing with another tropical system moving into the central Caribbean south of Jamaica by Saturday. Then this thing is going to take a dive to the north and come right over the Cayman Islands and then over western Cuba. And by Tuesday, we're looking at 105 Category 2 hurricane just off the coast of Key West, Florida. And then it's expected to maybe come ashore near Fort Myers, Florida as a Category 3. And that would be winds of 115 miles per hour, taking a path very similar to Hurricane Charlie back in 2004. So they're going to have to watch that very, very closely. All right, let's take a look and show you what's going on here in Joplin right now. No hurricanes, that's for sure. 77 degrees right now. South wind at 10, feels like 78 because the dew point is 52 degrees. Temperatures are warming up nicely. We're already in the mid to upper 70s across the area. 77 in Joplin as well as Oswego, 78 in Welch and Veneta. A little bit cooler up to the north where they've had some rain this morning, 65 currently for our friends up in Iola as well as Yates Center. If you're heading out to the lakes this weekend, they're a little bit below normal. Elk City Lake is about 1 1/3 feet, and Big Hill Lake is about almost 2 feet below normal. Down in Grand Lake, it's about 1.5 feet below normal, not too bad. Beaver Lake is about 2 1/4 feet below normal right now, and Table Rock is the champion at 4.24, and then Stockton Lake is actually worse than that, 5.5 feet below normal right now. We desperately need some rain to get into some of those streams and lakes across our area to help out with that. Your forecast for today, we're going to see temperatures in the mid-80s across our area, a little bit cooler up to the north, maybe a sprinkle or two across our area, but not really much going on as far as rainfall. Then tomorrow morning, lows in the 60s, but tomorrow afternoon, we're going to set a record of 91 here in Joplin, and also some 90s down in Oklahoma and also out to the west. And then on Sunday night into Monday, we're going to see temperatures in the 50s, right around 60 degrees. And on Sunday afternoon, we're going to see cooler conditions with north winds, and that'll feel drier too, with highs in the lower 80s. And then as we go into Sunday night into Monday morning, check out these lows. 50 in Yates Center and Chanute, could see some upper 40s in some locations, around 53 here in Joplin. Over the next 7 days, we're going to see that record 91 tomorrow, 83 on Sunday, and then we're going to be more normal as we head into the early part of next week with comfortable lows in the morning and then pleasant afternoons with highs near 80 degrees during the day. So
it's been a while since we've dipped down into the 40s for lows at night, though.
It's fall is trying to trying to come in, but summer just keeps hanging on.
I like next week's temperatures.
I do too.
That's going to give my AC a break, big time.
That's right. But what we need is we need some rainfall on there.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. We're going to work on that.
Yeah, we're going to try.
All right. Thanks, Sam.
You're welcome.
We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, bosun's mate Neil Crone in the U.S. Navy. The Chanute, Kansas native served aboard the USS Whiteside. He fought in the South Pacific, Hawaii, and in Japan from 1951 to 1954. To Neil Crone, we thank you, our four-state hero. Well, today's recipe is perfect for watching the big game, and it packs the perfect punch for any sporty get-together. Howard shows us how to make buffalo potato wedges in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
It goes together like this. We start by cutting 6 baking potatoes into wedges and seasoning them with some olive oil and a bit of salt. After they're well coated, we place them on a couple of baking sheets and pop them in the oven until they're golden. Now you want to make sure you flip them halfway through roasting so both sides get nice and golden. Now we place these in a large bowl and toss them with some wing sauce until they're evenly coated. Then we drizzle them with some bottled blue cheese dressing and finish them off with a handful of chopped celery. What we end up with is a dish that combines everything we love about our favorite wings without the bones or greasy fingers. Everyone's going to love these, wing lovers or not. To get this easy recipe for our buffalo potato wedges, you know the routine. Visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a wing dinger of a way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. Dig it.
All right, well, you can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4-state market prices.
And we're going to have a record high tomorrow with a temperature of 91 degrees, but then we return to more normal-like conditions the rest of the week, and then, of course, hot again next weekend. And I had a viewer, Kay Blanchard, was asking about allergies and what I was talking about, ragweed and chenopod. Chenopod is a particular type of allergy, and it's associated with goosefoot and Russian thistle, that kind of allergy.
All right, so
hopefully that answers the question.
all those allergens are super high right now.
Yes.
All right, what do we have coming up at 5?
Well, at 5 this week, the third week of September, is known as Asthma Peak Week. That's because it's a week where doctors often see the most asthma attacks in the country. We're going to look at the contributing factors, including allergens. That's today in Health Watch. Plus, a new City of Miami ordinance to address animal control issues is now in effect. And the Ozark Center is traveling across Joplin to promote suicide prevention and awareness. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course, it's coming up on KOAM News at 5.
All right, thank you, Dal. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at Noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.